Today marks 1 month since the deadly Camp Fire started. This fire is 100% contained. It has been for a little bit, but not before scorching over 153,000 acres. People who escaped this fire are just now getting a chance to go back to Paradise to see what's happened to their homes. There are now 3 people still missing at this time. And a few weeks ago, this list had more than 1,000 names on it. The Camp Fire death toll stands at 85. Thousands of homes were also lost. Giacomo Luca is live for us in Paradise with a look at how things are going 1 month later.
Well, Madison, just weeks after this fire has come through, exactly 1 month now, many people this week have been allowed back into some of the communities that were damaged or destroyed by the Camp Fire, Magalia, the eastern portion of Paradise, Concal, Yankee Hill. Now, a lot of those folks have come back to see many of their homes destroyed. Now, some people have homes standing, but it's going to be a while before things start to get back to normal here. Now, crews in the area have worked very hard to clear as much debris and the hazards in this area, like down trees, some burned out cars, as well as down power lines, those sorts of things. Electric in the area is being restored very slowly. However, gas lines aren't expected to be put back up until at least the next quarter. Now, there's a lot of people in this area that are left with a very tough decision whether or not they're going to rebuild. Now, some people tell me that they want to. A lot of folks also say that they have plans to pack up and go. It has been a very traumatic event over the last several weeks for these people that are living here, for the survivors, and for the many people who have family members and friends who lost their lives. Madison?
Yeah, Giacomo, thank you so much for that update.